I'm gonna hop on over to the other side here. This is my third video, trying to knock it out in batches. But 2025 is here, folks. It's almost time, and I hope you have some sort of a plan, at least thinking about it. If you're choosing not to execute, you know, change is uncomfortable in anything that we do. If you saw my earlier video, I shared a little bit about cold water, the cold plunges I used to do in New Zealand, and the story about my journey and life there, like snippets of it, right? I give you some really good insight as to why I am the way I am and why my habits I dialed in the way they are. So anytime you start off a venture, anytime you start off something that sets you on track where you have to track, and it entails discipline, it's hard. It's hard because most people don't have a structured life or discipline protocols. You need it. You need it. I mean, how else? There's no cheat code. There's no like give me the answers. And even if you have the answers, you have the blueprint. It's not gonna work itself. You're gonna need to put in the work to adopt the blueprint of meal plan or fitness plan, and you're gonna have to make that plan work. And the way you make it work is by execution. Surprise, surprise, right? No secret. And I think a lot of times we get caught up with just way overthinking things when it's really not that difficult. We fail to take action, and time passes by, and we've spent a lot of time just in our heads. So look at, like, for example, you ask yourself, is there a reason why you're eating like ish? You already know this, right? You already know this. You already know that you've had a habit. If you're starting this journey late in life, it's even harder. But it's not as hard as you think, because a lot of this is in your head. Have you thought about incorporating beautiful walks like this on a daily basis? Still eat what you want, okay? By all means, do you. I'm not here to control you or tell you what to do, but just hear me out, hear my perspective. Have you given the gift of time, of separating and leaving your wife, your husband, your brother, your dog, your sister, your mother, anything? Just say, I need a moment to myself. And have you taken these beautiful 15-minute walks after your meal? That's probably even better. Or have you thought about skipping the first meal? It's uncomfortable, right? Because we are taught that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's not true. Now, if you're diabetic, I can't give you an advice there. If you do what you need to do. I'm just talking about general population. How many of you are going to get your blood work done? Annual physical. Some of us at the end of the year. Some of us have already done it at the beginning of the year. That's your report card I talk about. How's that looking? What are your thoughts about that? Right? The numbers just don't appear randomly, right? It's a lot of this is in your control. See, what's working out is not hard. It's how you think about working out. Working out doesn't need to entail any suffering in that sense. You know, I know there's some cold pictures and images about working out and be a beast and that, but what if you give just 50% effort? Because a lot of you are not even giving 50% effort. A lot of you are not even giving 50% honest effort. Really ask yourself that, have that conversation. If you can give 50% of yourself to this lifestyle, you'll realize that you actually love it. The hardest part on this journey is not doing it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. It's actually easy. The hardest part about this journey is the consistency. Say it again. The hardest part about this self-improvement journey, what's difficult, is the consistency. It teaches you self-control, the mastering your temptations, having the mindset to control those thoughts that that make you reach into the cookie jar per se. These changes are important. These changes are perceived as difficult, but it's not. When you got to have a vision. You got to have a why. Like why, your why has to be able to pull you. Why am I walking? It's hard. Is it hard? Why aren't you walking? Oh, it's hard. It's cold. I don't like the wind. Too many cars. I don't like people watching me. I don't like people watching me with the gimbal. Oh, it's too heavy. My arm is sore. Yes, I get it. I fight this. I fight this every day. This feeling. I fight this every day, and I'm all right. I've just gotten better. You care less. This change is not just physical. This change towards becoming a better version really means leaving your past behind. That's difficult because we, as human beings, as humans, we tend to hang on to what we know, what's comfortable. And anytime we're pulled outside of what we know, we go into a shell like a turtle, right? We just shy away. But the good news is, it's the fear is a good thing because that just shows that it's time. The work has to be done. And if you have that calling, as life goes on, as time goes on, it's going to get louder. That voice is going to get louder because you'll know you'll know when your body is not where you want it to be. You want to look better. It's the pain of regret, the sacrifices you don't make today. It's the pain of regret when you get older, like what could have been hits me harder. And that's why I do my sprints. That's why I do my cardio. That's why I lift weights moderately. That's why I decide to walk. Walking is therapy. Walking is where I solve my problems. I used to look at walking as a core, but as something in the way. But no, I fight to get to this point. Getting this backpack gear together, getting my mic, charging up my batteries, holding up the gimbal, showing up. And even on days when I don't feel like showing up, is because I know that feelings are temporary. Feelings are temporary because on those same days, think about this, on the same days that you feel like crap, once you start walking at the very least, that on that same day, because you're walking, you're going to feel so much better. Crazy, huh? Like you can shift your mindset from point A to point B just through action. That's strong. If you're stagnant and not receptive to change, then the external changes will force you to go places that you didn't even want to. You're worse off, actually. So the only way to get ahead of this is doing the things that are difficult. And if you think about it in perspective, when you dial this down, is eating clean a horrible thing? Is prioritizing protein that difficult? Is it? Is it difficult? Drinking a lot of water. I'm not even telling you to lift. You know how many people have a hard time drinking a gallon of water? And when you break that down even further and visualize it, it's 16 cups a day. By midday, you could have easily killed like 8 cups. It's just nothing. If you're like me, you're walking a lot. even though I'm not perspiring, like I'm not really sweating, my body is still deprived. Like when I go home, I'm going to fuel myself with water. I'm fasting right now. Try getting out and walking. Make this a priority on an empty stomach. Because what happens is, you may not like it at first. You know, this is new to a lot of people that don't walk and don't move, that don't like working out. Just do the bare minimum walk, okay? The growth hormones that are induced in your system, your gut, because your gut health is tied to mental health. The feeling that's induced counteracts your hunger pains. Hunger is a good thing. Hunger is a good thing. Now, how you feel that hunger is a different thing altogether. Being hungry is good because it creates a little bit of a drive. And as you walk, as you're fasted and as you walk, you're going to start developing this mental muscle, this mental relationship, this psychological relationship with your inner voice, your inner self. You get to find yourself. You get to shake hands with yourself. You get to sit yourself down. Like I'm visualizing, this is all manifestation kind of exercise I've done myself. Like, listen, bro, listen, sis. You're not a size small. That dress, it's like my girlfriend, right? Who's ex-girlfriends who have double my size now. I'm not being mean. It's the reality. So if it ticks you off, I'm not sorry. It's the reality. And I've had these conversations with them because they ask me for tips even till today. And lo and behold, it's their habits with food. They love their food more than they love their results. But the voice, right? You will know. And during these walks, I have this vision of my higher self, the best version, talking to my lower self. It's not about the position of holier than thou or power struggle. No, it's you versus you. There's no power struggle. It's a mental struggle. And my higher version is having a conversation with the lower version as a master and student, because I can see myself yesterday. 2 days ago, I was sleeping horribly, and my higher self was already on the throne, looking at my lower self and saying, "Look at you, piece of shit," right? It wasn't deliberate, but I was charging myself up with these kinds of talks. Then look at you, wasting away. Why aren't you sleeping, bro? I was working out. I was lifting. I still got my walks in, as you saw from my timeline, my videos, but I knew I had some catching up to do. All of this happens during my walks. I had a little bit of craving this morning to just eat eggs and good stuff, right? Protein, but I wasn't hungry. And this is where you find those magical moments is you got to feel your mental capacity. You got to feel yourself psychologically and build this relationship with your inner voice. That are you really hungry? Like have these conversations, speak out loud. Walking confirms, walking really reaffirms your inner voices, your intuition that you shouldn't be doing these things. And it's more congruent to your real-time actions, you know, your next steps. That when you get home, are you really going to pour Cocoa Puffs, you know, pebbles, right? It's a sugary flakes. Are you really going to go there? If so, why? Why? Ask yourself why. At Captain America, the food that promote here is designed to keep us inflamed. So you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be a part of that change they're forcing down our throats, or do you want to be a part of your personal change? And I gave you a lot here, right? But all this really comes down to doing the bare minimum, like just 50%. Start there. Write it down. What does 50% of your efforts look like in application wise? Visualize it. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. What's the plan, right? Write it down, whiteboard it, take notes on your phone, cross it out, psychologically. If you write something, cross it out or check mark once you accomplish the task. It's a fulfillment, it's psychological fulfillment. When you see something finished, it's you've been true to yourself. When you've done the difficult things, when you put in the work, it satisfies my soul. It should satisfy your soul. And you will know things feel a little off in your system when you're not doing so. Heck, it'll show in your body, your physique. So where do you want to go with this? With Thanksgiving week around the corner, I'm going to be coming up with a lot more content on how to manage Thanksgiving in this, you know, friendly way. I say a toxic week, because we just can't discard we just can't discard our bodies this way. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this is the way. Moderation, yes, but you are not where you want to be because you've essentially been following a very mediocre lifestyle. So, do you deserve moderation? Do you want to go from point A to point B quickly? There's no cheat code, there's no shortcuts, there's no surgeries, there's no substance abuse here. But do you want to go? Do you want to see quick results? You can. In a month, you won't have a six pack. But in a month, a lot can happen with just water and protein. Some vegetables, steamed vegetables. Making that choice is easy. Feeding off of sugar is easy. You notice I haven't even talked about lifting weights. That's a personal choice. I think that at an older age, you tend to lose muscle mass. I work for this. It's not a whole lot, but I work for it. I'm a lean 157 pounds. I have some shirtless pictures on my Instagram. I look a little, fuller than my weight is because it's water. Water is, if you're hydrated, it's going to have a 3D effect on your body. It looks fuller. It looks hydrated. You look healthy. So when you fall in love with the results, when you can visualize the results, and when you can see the final version in your head, more importantly, it also is not only will you love it, but it's how other people treat you. It's how other people react to you when they see your new physique. Not just your new physique, but your new mindset. You're not going to want to go back to your old self. I promise you that. Your higher self, you got to find it. And to find your higher self, you have to embrace change. You have to embrace change. Us Gen Xers, millennials, we're very stubborn. It's hard to retrain a mature adult and tell them what to do, which is why I don't. Unless it's a coaching call and you want me in your corner, that's a different story. I bring the Mamba mentality philosophy, and I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not even there right now. But if anyone is interested, yes, I will do it. Mamba mentality doesn't feel sorry. Like, we just go out and conquer. We do it. Take the shot. So, embrace change. Do the difficult things. Continue to make that separation. And with time, in this journey, you're going to continue cutting off people too. That's also very important. Folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. It's a little under 20 minutes. I still got more videos to do. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this. Until the next one, Mamba out.